Hey everybody, it's Sunday, and of course, you know it is Soul Sunday with Ruby and Allison. And give me just a moment, I'm inviting Allison to watch. But hey, of course, this is the last Sunday of 2017, and it is New Year's Eve, and tomorrow is 2018. So, just waiting for Allison to come on. I'm actually a minute early than what I normally am. Y'all see my picture? Y'all like my picture? I like my picture. Y'all should get y'all a picture. Let's take a closer look at it. Yeah, I'm just waiting for Allison to come on. But like I said, today is Sunday, and of course we do Soul Sunday on Sundays, and today's topic is becoming your own companion. So, hey Miss McCowan, how are you, beautiful? And thank you, girl. You know, I do what I can. I do what I can. I'm my biggest fan, so I do what I can. Let me stop. But I thank you all for watching. Of course, I'm Ruby D of Ruby D Artistry, and I'm the Goddess Entrepreneur. And I'm still waiting for Allison. But while I'm waiting for Allison, let me just say that if you happen to catch this video on the replay, comment below replay as well as where you're watching from. And of course, at any time, if you have any questions or any comments or anything, just comment it below. And if you feel that anything that either of us are saying is beneficial to you and you feel like it will help others, please feel free to share. And I'm still waiting on Allison, so I'll give her just a little bit more time to come on because I really don't want to get started without her. But of course, it is the last Sunday of the year, so if you're watching, we really appreciate it because it could, you know, it's a lot of other things that you could be doing right now other than looking at me and my ponytail and all my gray hairs. But I love my gray hair though, I really do. So I decided I'm just gonna let the gray hairs take over for the 2018. So y'all see that? And all of this, and yeah, I just have gray hair everywhere, even throughout. This is, but anyway, but it's 2:01. I know Allison will be joining in soon. She's probably out running errands or something because she was last week. And she was actually with us, you know, from her car. So it's possible that it's the same case this week. But this week's topic, of course, is how or becoming your own companion. And of course, you know, myself as well as Allison, we're both advocates for self. And basically what that is, of course, we want you all to have flourishing relationships with everybody else, your family. Thank you, Daniel. You know, my grays, I got nice grays. I like my grays. I love my grays. But I really appreciate it. But in the midst of having these flourishing relationships with other people, you definitely need to have the same type of relationship with yourself. And some of us, we don't like to do things by ourselves. We don't like spending time alone with ourselves. We don't like just being at home by yourself. Just because you're alone does not mean you have to be lonely. So remember that being alone and being lonely are two completely different things. But when you have the opportunity to be by yourself, you actually learn a lot. You can hear a lot. You can do a lot of things and be really productive by yourself as opposed to being with other people or being in a group or anything like that. But of course, with every topic, I'm going to give you a definition. So of course, I googled the definition of companion, and the definition is a person or animal with whom one spends a lot of time with or with whom one travels. There she is. Allison, I'm sending you the invite. I sent you an invite to watch the video, but see what happened, you have to actually start watching in order for me to be able to add you. So I'm figuring that out as we, you know, go along with this, even though we've been doing this it's been almost 2 months. No, wait a minute, a month
There
and a
I
half.
am. Hi.
Hi there.
How are you? I was just waiting. I think Facebook is taking its time sending your invites to me, but that's okay.
But that's all right. Exactly. It's okay. But I was just about to get started. But
Oh,
since you are
cool.
here, then you could go ahead and introduce yourself. I did a little bit of an introduction, but go ahead.
Peace and blessings, everybody. This is Allison with Be Still and Move, the organization that's been designed to help you heal, grow, and live beyond that relationship status by becoming better, not bitter, and enjoying your life along the journey. And I am thrilled to be here with Miss Ruby one more Sunday.
Yes, and I was just thinking about it. I was like, wait a minute, it's been 6 weeks, seven, maybe
Can you
this
believe
week's
it?
make seven.
God, it's been so fast.
I know, and it's just like it feels like it was just yesterday we did the
It
first
really
one.
does. It does.
But I've been consistent. That is key. Consistency
Yes.
is key.
Yes.
But of course, as I was saying, this week's topic is becoming your own companion.
Yes.
And I kind of went into a little bit where, of course, you and I are both self advocates. We love those relationships that you have with other people and
Mm-hmm.
with friends and family and spouse and everything. But it's important that you have a good relationship with yourself.
Yes.
And sometimes like I said, you can be alone and not be lonely. It's two completely different things.
Yes, it is.
And the reason that is because you can accomplish so much by yourself. It puts you in a situation where you're able to listen to yourself and learn about yourself. Just things you can't do when you're in the presence of other people and when you're around other people.
Right. Right.
So, I had just given the definition of companion, which is a person or animal with whom one spends a lot of time with or with whom one travels.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much as far as I had gotten.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, when you become your own companion, you learn how to spend a lot of time with yourself, not just empty time where you're not doing anything, but valuable time or time that's going to be beneficial to you. Hey, everybody, thank you for watching. Please be
Come here.
sure to share,
Mm-hmm.
or if you have any questions or comments, just comment, below, and we'll get to it. What you doing?
My son just walked in. I'm sorry. He just knocked on the door. I was like, he just woke up. He's been asleep the whole time. I should have known he'd wake up
Oh,
as we started.
he's trying to get his nap in. He's like, let him go and get that last one in for the year. And he's back with us for the 2018. But yeah, like I said, becoming your own companion is going to be essential for the new year, especially when you're at, this time of year, a lot of people are wanting to accomplish a lot of goals, focus on a lot of goals, and you don't really have time for all of that other attention from
Exactly.
folks around you. And now is a really good time to focus on being your own companion.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Allison, I know you got something to say because you always got something to say.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but it is true. Yeah, you know what? The easiest thing I can say is we sometimes don't really think about the fact that, especially when you go off the definition that you just read, that describes us. We are always with us. We can't get away from us. So why are we not investing more time in getting to know ourselves and enjoying ourselves and enjoying being alone and not thinking
Right.
that that equals loneliness, because it is a wonderful thing. And so the reason I'm so
Oh,
excited about this topic is because it's like you say, you talk a lot about how you don't feel that there are relationship problems. There are problems that people are having with themselves that are showing up in relationships.
mm-hmm.
And this is one of the caveats that I think goes with your perspective, because if you have a deficit of self, whether that be low self-esteem or low self-value, or you drink to stop
Mm-hmm.
thinking about stuff that's going on, you don't even want to be around you. So how is anybody else?
Mm-hmm.
How's anybody else gonna stay around you for any significant period of time? So that's why I'm really excited about today.
Well, that is good because I'm excited too. And I love spending time with myself. I'll be like, oh, I get to spend time with myself. I might not go that far, but that's how I feel on the inside because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'll just be like, oh, it's just like no other energy. It's just mine. Like
Yeah.
last night, my mom was, she said she had somewhere to go. I ain't gonna put her
Mm-hmm.
business out there, but she had somewhere to go, and I was just like, okay, okay, bye bye.
Me time.
Exactly. It was just like, girl, it was just beautiful. I actually got a lot, got some things accomplished last
Yeah.
night. And I was just like, oh, but anyway, I'm getting off topic. Okay. So here's just we're not gonna make today too long because of course it is another holiday eve and people are probably out doing things and running errands and
Yeah.
all kind of stuff. But um next I wrote down some things to help you. Wait, let me make sure get over them. I know what it is. Some benefits of becoming your own companion. That's what it was. Because I have a list, but I didn't put a heading on my list. And I was like, I've been slacking this week and I don't need to be slacking, but we're going to get it done. But when you become your own companion, you you overcome miseducation of self because you get to know who you are, what it is you want, and um, what it is that you want to work towards. So, for those that don't know what I consider miseducation itself, which I've actually done a much shorter video on this before, but miseducation itself is when you allow the definition of who you are to come from people other than yourself. People like your friends, your family, your coworkers. You're basically listening to what everybody else has to say about you as opposed to defining who you are yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And when you spend time with yourself and you start becoming your own companion, then instead of you listening to other people, you actually get to know who you are for yourself. And therefore, you learn what it is that you like, what it is you don't like. And you may actually find out some new stuff that you just did not even know about. You might like listening to classical music. You might, like watching First 48 all day, every day. I mean, you might find out some stuff you just clearly knew nothing about, but then at the same time, it gives you time to think for yourself
Mm-hmm.
without having to listen to everybody, without having to be bombarded with everybody else's opinion about your life and what you should be doing, what you need to be doing, and they are absolutely clueless to what's going on with you. So, Allison, you got any input for that one? For that
The
first benefit?
the thing that stuck out to me is basically that miseducation of self, and I think it stuck out for me because that was something that I had to overcome. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you spend so much time, especially with me having albinism, and I see that Melissa is on this. She's the big sister in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But
Hey,
one of the things, so hey Melissa, but I met her when I was 15.
mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful. The reason that I wanted to specifically call her out, she's pretty low key, but the reason I wanted to call her out was because I met her when I was 15. And I immediately began to mimic everything she did. Now, luckily, she was not some promiscuous, thieving, whatever. Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
I just remembered that I thought at that point in my life, she was just the prettiest girl I had ever seen. She had her
Mm-hmm.
nails done, so I wanted to get my nails done. And she, bought pajamas and stuff. And I went and bought pajamas just like she did. I just wanted to be like her.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that did end up being a benefit to me, though, was that she always knew who she was. She was
Right.
always very much so aware of who she was, who she wanted to be. And by mimicking her, I was actually allowing her to plant those seeds in me. And so
Mm-hmm.
they began to sprout up later. And I'm at a point in my life now where, I just like me. There are things that I want to, improve in terms of the way I eat and meditating more and learning more about chakras. I'll reach out to you offline for that.
Thank you,
but
thank you, thank you, girl.
but yeah, the miseducation itself is a really the benefit of no longer being affected by that mindset. It affects every single area of your life. It
It
does.
does.
It affects your ability to believe that you can accomplish something that may be new. It affects
Mm-hmm.
your ability to know when to say when to how people treat you. It is
Right.
just it's a huge benefit, and I think it's a foundational benefit. Um, because if you continue to go around with your value placed in the hands of other people, then when they decide that your value has changed, you change. And you never have the foundation, the peace, the consistency, the things that you need within you to know when the people around you are taking you off balance or not. You never know what
Mm-hmm.
grounding feels like because your value is in the hands of other people. So I think that's one of the most important ones.
And girl, I got to completely agree with that. I'm not, even gonna lie. That's why, um, it's a lot of times when I meet people, when I first initially meet people, they like, oh, she mean. And it's like, no, I'm not mean. I'm feeling you out. I'm feeling
Mm-hmm.
my surroundings. And that's because I'm so in touch with myself. I know who to be cool with. I can feel who to be cool with, who not to be cool with. And that's because I define myself. I haven't allowed other people, to dictate that about me. So when
Exactly.
I'm around people, I'm just me. And if you feel
Yep.
like I'm me, then that's completely on you. I haven't said anything to you. I haven't given you, any kind of, I haven't, given you any indication that, that's who I am. But it's not that well, to an extent, I mean, I learned how to control it. I fixed that. But it's just, I'm just becoming aware of my surroundings, especially if I'm in a new area.
Yep. Exactly.
Another
What's up,
benefit.
Miss Cassandra?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Thank you for watching. I meant to say, thank y'all for watching. Yes, she did say hey. Thank you all for watching. Of course, today's topic is becoming your own companion. And of course, this is Soul Sunday with me and Allison. This is a great way to end the old year and an
Yeah.
even better way to start the new one. So you
Mm-hmm.
definitely want to make sure you watch this. Um, But the next benefit is you learn to enjoy your alone time by participating in single person activities.
Yes.
Now, we always feel, I've been that way too, where I always felt like I couldn't go anywhere unless somebody went with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then, this is completely separate of a safety issue or, just not going out by yourself, but it's just being able to get to the point where you become comfortable being by yourself. So the way to more become comfortable with yourself is to actively do things that only one person can do.
Mm-hmm.
Play solitary. What else? Single person activities. It's all kind of stuff you can do by yourself. I do a lot of stuff by myself. You can read by yourself. You can write a book by yourself. You can create a new business by yourself. It's just, a number of different things that you can do. And the more you do those things, then the more comfortable you become with being by yourself and not always needing somebody there with you. Take
Mm-hmm.
yourself to dinner, take yourself to the movies. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, people probably gonna look at you crazy, like why they by themselves, but so what?
Mm-hmm.
Engage in single person activities. And I don't mean single person activities like if you in a relationship, then go out here and be acting single. That is not what I mean.
Come on.
Please don't
Yes.
take it. Please don't take it that way because that's not what I'm saying at all. I mean, do activities that only one person can do. That's what I mean. Just Allison, be quiet, because you know somebody, all they need is a little bit, and some people gonna take it and run with it and be like,
Yes, they
Ruby said,
will.
no, that is not what Ruby said, and that's not what I'm meaning. No,
At
no, no, no.
all.
So don't nobody say, well, I was in a relationship and then Ruby said go do some single person stuff. No, that's
Uh-uh.
I clearly articulated what I meant. And
Exactly.
went a step further by telling you what I don't mean. So Allison, I'm gonna let you go ahead and put your $1.45 in real quick.
The single person activities, I am such a strong proponent for that. I try to tell every person I know, and just in case somebody's just tuning in, I'm gonna say the same thing Ruby just did. I am not telling you, if you in a relationship, married, I'm not telling you to go out here and take a couple nights a month to pretend that you're not. Don't even try. That is not what we
Exactly.
mean. But what we are talking about is learning to enjoy your own company. Before I started doing this myself, if I was in a relationship, and let's just say there was a point in time, maybe we were in the car and we weren't talking, I started getting nervous. Why aren't we talking? Is the relationship ending? What's wrong? How come we don't have anything to say to each other? What's the problem? But once I started to really go out and do things by myself, and I can't remember when I started because it's been so long ago.
Mm-hmm.
I started to appreciate those relationships where we did have silence, because I understood then that silence was not always a sign that there was something wrong. It was actually a sign that you were at peace with each other.
Right.
And I had never really experienced that. And so one of the ways that you can enjoy having peace with someone else is to start doing things by yourself. And, adding on to what Ruby said about, going to the movies or going out to dinner and people looking at you like you're strange. The thing that I've learned, at least my experience, I don't even notice. If people actually do think that I look crazy for going to a table and eating food by myself, if they actually do think I'm crazy to go to a movie by myself, I don't even notice, because I am so comfortable, and I get to the point that I look forward to it. Like, I'm really excited about it. This is my first
Mm-hmm.
Christmas with my son. I would let him go home to North Carolina so he could, be around his cousins, be around his grandparents. And it was okay. I was like, I have him the whole year. But what I did, I ended up using those last 10 days of every year. I did nothing. I sat in bed.
Mm-hmm.
I ordered takeout. I read all the books that I didn't get to read for the year. It's just it's rejuvenating. And I
Right.
just really want to encourage, especially women, because I notice that men don't always have this issue, but it's a lot of us sisters who feel like we can't go out unless we're with a friend. And I want to encourage you that you actually do see the world a little differently. I have a best friend I've had for over 30 years, but I see the world differently. I could go to the same places I've gone with her by myself, and it's just a different environment, a different vibe. And I think
Mm-hmm.
everybody needs to experience that, because, safety aside, there is nothing like being so secure and so in tune and so in love
Right.
with you that when you decide you want to up and do something, you don't have to pick up the phone and find out who can come with you. You just go do it. Y'all, that is the
Right.
best feeling in the world. And I'm going to stop there. The best feeling in the world.
And as you were talking about the eating, girl, I'm like, I have so much money I can spend on my own food and eat it by myself. I don't have to share with
Yes.
nobody. I ain't got to worry about nobody questioning what I'm eating. I can get good and full by myself.
By myself. Yep.
Girl, that is like the best part ever. I ain't got to share my
Yes.
drink. I ain't got to share my ice cream. I ain't got to worry about nobody smacking while I'm trying to enjoy my peace. I ain't got to
Yes.
worry about looking across the table and seeing all down your throat because you don't know how to chew with your mouth closed. But but yeah, when you by yourself, you get the opportunity to people watch. I
Yes.
love people watching just to
Mm-hmm.
see, and it's just like you don't even have to hear what they say because your mind is gonna automatically just create a whole story in itself for you anyway. But
Yes.
it's just spend some time with yourself. Y'all just don't know.
It
Y'all
is
out here
wonderful.
stressing over somebody else and said that ain't even got nothing to do with you. And you know what? If you was be there, you wouldn't even be in that situation. I'm just saying.
That is so true. So
Eat out,
true.
like, you know what? You ain't even got to go to a buffet to get a buffet. You can have a buffet eating by yourself because you can eat as much as you want to.
You really can. You really can.
Uh-oh, Tate is back with us this week. Hey,
What's
Tate.
up, Tate? Oh, what's up, Patricia?
Hey, hey, Patrice, thank you for watching. You know, if y'all like anything we saying, be sure to share it,
Yes.
comment, ask questions. Okay, another benefit to becoming your own companion is you get to explore your creative side. Sometimes when we spend time alone, we find out that we're writers, we find out that we have an unexpected love for a certain type of music, or
Mm-hmm.
you can become creative in other ways. You can write poetry, you can sit and you actually learn what become familiar with your creative side.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, um and actually this brings to mind my latest um project that I'm working on. Tate says, I like to see really heavy people get in small really.
Really, Tate? That's what we're doing today? That's
um
what we're going to do today. Okay.
it brought me to my latest project that I'm working on, because I'm always working on something. When you working from home full time, you think of some stuff.
Yes.
And I'm just kind of I'm the type of person where I like really unique stuff because I feel like it just fits my personality.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be the one to wear something that most people wouldn't wear. And I know I get that from my mom. But, my latest project right now, which I kind of figured out because I was by myself. Was, I decided I wanted to get into hats. So I'm going to actually start buying hats. And now I was like, well, I'm not really a necklace person,
Mm-hmm.
but I still like to sometimes have some type of decoration around my neck. And I was like, well, I like bow ties. To me, that's different because women don't wear them all the time. But then I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I could take a bow tie and I could decorate it and I could do, whatever I want to do with it. And at one point I went online to actually look to see if it was made or if they were being sold or anything like that, and it wasn't. So, I'm like, oh, okay, that's another way that I get to spend time with myself by creating these decorative bow ties for women.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I'm turning it into a business. That's what it's going to be. But just being by myself and having that opportunity to explore, another creative piece of me.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's definitely beneficial. You
I
just,
agree.
come up with things you didn't even know you were good at or
Mm-hmm.
creative at.
Mm-hmm.
So, what have you created, Allison, over there by yourself, being your own best friend?
I have to say that a lot of people tell me that I have a gift with words and a gift for writing. And that was one of the first things that I thought about when you were talking. I've kept journals since I was 10. I have always written in them when I was alone. It would either be the last thing I did in the morning, or as I got older, I would keep it with me all day and I would go off to myself and start writing. But I really believe that writing came as a result of me slowly learning how to spend time by myself. Now, a lot of times I might have been writing about things I didn't want to tell other people, or I might have been trying to write myself through some pain that I was dealing with at the time. But the end result was that I learned that I can blog and I can write and I can say things that people, resonate with, and things,
Right.
in a way that they may not have been able to articulate themselves. But I would come back several times and get messages from people saying, what you did, what you just wrote really struck me because this is what's happening in my life. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm grateful for that gift. And I'm confident that I'm confident I wouldn't have been able to articulate things the way that I have in terms of communication had I not, spent that time alone. I firmly believe that my writing has gotten better as I have learned to be alone, because I don't have
Right.
that blockage of, oh, I'm alone and I'm lonely, and oh my God, what if people don't like what I'm doing? And what if they don't, are they picking on me? Are they looking at me because I'm by myself? I don't have all that. There's sometimes I'll take my journal to dinner. I'll take my journal to dinner and I sit right there at that table and I just write out my thoughts. I write out my goals. I write out my visions. And it's just therapeutic for me. But I think that, you know, me learning to be alone has been a big part of being able to see, oh, I can write. Oh, I really do like to sing. Oh, I really can sing. Oh, I really can decorate. Wow, how did that happen? I have just learned so much. So much.
And that's what I'm saying. Because it's all kind of benefit of being by yourself.
Yes.
With yourself. Let me say that.
Right.
And then, of course, with what you just said, that brings me to my next benefit. Get the opportunity to be alone in those painful moments. And in that sense, it can serve as being therapeutic. You know, sometimes when things happen to us, it's sometimes best that it just happens to us instead of us and everybody else. Because then, how many times I know it's happened to me where you just, you know, you may have had something happen and you've been at home crying, and then, okay, you finally get yourself together and you leave the house. Of course, you know, your face is out, your eyes are red and whatever, and it's all on your face that clearly something is wrong. And you just like, you know, I just have to go to the store because I have to get this. I have to get out of the house just to get away from this. And you somewhere and you doing just fine, but then all of a sudden somebody asks you, are you okay? And it just starts all over again. It's like, had you not been there, I would be fine. Let me deal with this by myself. And let me be in my pain by myself. That way you don't have to feel embarrassed about it. You don't have to feel like you have to share all of that with everybody else and what's going on, because sometimes it's just simply not their business and it's just something that you need to get through by yourself. And you know, we just sometimes don't want to have to go through explaining that 10 times to 10 different people because y'all want to keep asking me what's wrong with me. The only way to avoid that is just be by yourself. Stay at home. I mean, just be in your pain, get through it, deal with it, and get out of it, and keep it moving. Pretty much.
It's just that simple. I mean, for me, it's been music. You know, people that have grown close to me or who already knew me, they know how much I love the artist Eric Roberson. He can do no wrong in my eyes. I know he's not perfect. He's a human, but he's great for me. But one of the reasons that I do tell people that he is my favorite artist is because there's a difference between listening to music with your girls. Like, I can listen, he can be in the background with my girls, and it's just a soundtrack for whatever is happening. It's just something that's going on in the background. But when I am really, really going through some heartbreak or some sadness or frustration or whatever, it's like that man is singing my heart at that particular moment. I get in my car, I hit George Bush. If I can try to do it at 2 a.m, that's the best time of day to drive anywhere in Dallas. And I will throw Eric Roberson on, and every pivotal moment that has happened in my life since I've moved to Texas, he has had a direct impact. There's been some song that he did that helped me get through something. And the reason I bring that up is because one of my favorite CDs of his was written by him to get over a breakup. And when we start talking about spending this time alone and spending this time, you know, the fact that it can be therapeutic, this man decided he wasn't going to go try and sleep with a bunch of people. I mean, for all I know, he may have had that stage, but instead of allowing that breakup to completely take him to the point of, you know, drinking too much or getting on drugs or whatever, he decided to use his gift and write an album that is now helping other people. And one of the benefits when we find out that something is therapeutic for us while we're alone, it all works together, Ruby. It's like I'm using this time alone to be therapeutic, but while I'm also alone, I'm also finding out about this creativity And a lot of people, if you really listen to some of those people that you admire the most, some of their greatest works, whether it be music, art, literature, whatever, it came out of pain. So you're
Mm-hmm.
learning how to be alone. You're learning how to let that be therapy. You're finding out your creativity at the point you're actually planting seeds that end up helping people that you may not even meet. And it's
That
just a
part.
beautiful connection. It is a beautiful connection.
Right. And the only way for you to experience that is being by yourself,
Mm-hmm.
alone. I mean,
Yep.
to that degree. Of course, there's certain things you experience while with other people, but
Right.
sometimes the most important, the most impactful things come from you being by yourself.
Yep.
Y'all gonna get this one way or another. I'm just saying. Y'all better learn how to be your best friend for the new year.
You
Then
need
you ain't
do
got to
it.
worry about cutting people off at the end of the year.
Oh my God. I'm like, what kind of friends do y'all have that every year you cutting?
You got to be cutting somebody off. Like, I haven't. Wait a minute. I did, cut a few people off, but it wasn't because we had a problem or anything like that. It was just because I'm just going here and they're going there. And it was like, a mutual cutoff thing, but not
Yes.
some of y'all just be.
I'm like, every year y'all got to. I'm grateful for everybody still in my life. It's like y'all writing down lists. Oh, it's December. Who do I
Right.
got to let go
Exactly. Like,
of?
I hope y'all not cutting and recutting some of the same people you supposedly cut off the year before, but you let back.
Another
On to the
topic
next
for another
thing.
day.
You get to be another benefit of becoming your own companion is you get to be completely honest with yourself. It's just like if you can't be honest with yourself under any other circumstance, being by yourself is the only time that you can be like, you know what, self, let me tell you something, self. And you be like, self, now you know you was wrong for this, you know you was wrong for that. Self, you know you need to do this, self, you know you need to do that.
Yes.
And nobody even has to know. That's between you and you. And don't nobody gotta know about that time you did something that you shouldn't have did when you were completely by yourself. It's
Mm-hmm.
just some stuff that happened to us while we're by ourselves that we would never share with anybody. And that's completely fine. There should be some things that, you should never even have a conversation with when it comes to other people. Like, for example, and and when I'm saying this is from a point of where you are completely transparent with yourself, not from the perspective that society has indoctrinated us with.
Mm-hmm.
But if we were so if we were as in touch with ourselves and comfortable with being with ourselves as we should be, we wouldn't need to talk to people about things. We wouldn't need to take as many medications as we take. We wouldn't need to read like I mean, we're at this point where we have to search outside of ourselves so much for resolution. And I don't think it should be like that. 90% of our resolution should come from ourselves. And when I say it should come from ourselves, we shouldn't even have to have a discussion with somebody else. Like right now, me and Allison shouldn't be having this conversation over Facebook Live with other people, because us being our own companion should be something that's common, something that we should do automatically. But because it's not, we have to have this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So if we were as honest with ourselves as we should be, then a lot of the stuff that we deal with, a lot of the stuff that we're bombarded with, we wouldn't be dealing with. I wouldn't have to see people talking about they cutting somebody else, cutting somebody off every year. I wouldn't have to see posts about people saying Brent New Year, new me every year. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying that's a bad thing, but it's just if you spent more time with yourself, then really how many people would you be cutting off? If anything, you'd be cutting off yourself, but you're not gonna do that. That makes absolutely no sense. But it's just from that aspect, just being completely honest with yourself. And if you can be honest with yourself, then you should be able to be honest with other people. So, and I'm just going and going and going, but still, it's just whatever you can do with yourself and do with yourself confidently, you shouldn't have a problem with doing it with anybody else.
I agree. I agree. The biggest thing for me when we talk about you being able to be honest with yourself, I think that would be one of the biggest pride and ego killers. Because like you said, you know, one of the biggest things with pride and ego is people either don't want to look stupid, don't want to look wrong, and don't want to look weak. Well, the benefit of being able to check yourself by yourself is you're not looking weak or punkish or anything to anybody, but you are also learning accountability. And I don't care how you learn accountability. If you have to learn it in front of people, great. If you have to learn it by yourself so that you'll actually listen and realize some of the things that you did or said were wrong, either way, you're learning accountability, and that makes you a little bit of a, you know, that's going to make you even better as you go on your path. So you can be honest about, and it could be anything. You know, Ruby mentioned, you know, you shouldn't have done that, but it could also be, you know, you didn't treat that person right. You know, you could have gotten that job if you had just turned that resume in on time. Why did you get afraid? Why did you scare yourself out of an opportunity? It could be in any number of areas. And one of the things that I've also, you know, realized with myself, and I'll just be transparent because I had this moment yesterday. The good thing that I like about being by myself is that I can have my gripe sessions by myself. You know, I'm a positive person by nature, but even I have moments where I just get tired of certain things still being the way that they are. And so it's funny now, which is why I guess I'm okay sharing it, but I'm up yesterday morning. I'm up yesterday morning. I don't know why. I didn't go to bed until 3 o'clock the night before, but for some reason I woke up at 7. I couldn't go back to sleep. And I said, well, screw it. I'm just going to get up and just go to the grocery store and go early. So I was in Whole Foods. And I was having one of these. I'm just tired of, you know, just missing the companionship, the consistent companionship, I guess. And so I'm sitting here, and y'all know when you go to the produce section, you got you got the bags that you have to pull down, and you got to get it around this hook so that the bag will separate, and then you got to move the pieces together to open the bag up.
Right.
I'm having issues for some reason just opening this stupid bag up. And while I'm over here by myself, already kind of irritated, this cute little couple walks in. They were probably in their 50s, and they looked to be a foreign couple. I can't remember. I don't know what area they were from. The woman was walking and grabbing the same piece of type of produce that I was grabbing. And she had this cute little old man behind her who was just opening the bags for her and handing her the bags. And I'm sitting here like, I did not need to see that ish right now. I'm already talking to you about how I'm feeling, and you gonna show me this right now. Now, I got over it, but the thing is, had I not, you know, been at a point in my life where I'm okay saying I'm not perfect, I don't care how positive people think I am, I have my moments. Had I not been at that point, you know, I might have just, I don't know, busted into tears in front, you know, getting cucumbers at Whole Foods. But I was just, like, when I had the moment, I got the stupid bag open, I got my cucumbers, I went over to get some fruit, and I was like, you really tripping. You know this, right? I'm going to need you to calm down. It is not going to always be like this, and I need you to stop tripping at 8 in the morning. Over a plastic bag. I need you to get over this like quickly. But I share that to say it is such a good feeling to be able to laugh at yourself. Yes, you need to correct yourself, but
sorry.
Tate,
sounds like Allison is looking for a dude that know how to open bags.
You know what, Tate? I actually know you personally. I'm gonna find you at 2 p.m. Don't even worry about it. But there was a point in my life that I could not laugh at myself. I took myself so freaking seriously. Everything was a catastrophe if it wasn't perfect. And to remember myself then and then get to the point now where I can have a semi-stupid moment and not feel like I'm a bad person, it's the end of the world, blah, blah, blah. That was another freeing moment for me. It was like, wow, you really have come into your own. You really have, learned the value of being honest and being open and allowing yourself to feel. And it was just I just thought it was a really beautiful moment. And so that's why I wanted to share it with this particular part, because that is one of the benefits of learning to be honest with yourself. You don't believe the hype that people have about you, because the hype about me is that I'm always happy, I'm always positive, I always have the right things to say. And the truth is I don't. I don't plaster my moments on social media, but I have them. I've just learned how to have them and then move beyond them a lot quicker,
Right.
because I don't internalize. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And that's another thing you learn to do. You just learn how to do so much stuff by yourself. And I mean, Allison got that bag open eventually by
I really
herself.
did.
So, had she had a man there, that's probably something she would have never done. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yes, it's just so much that you learn being, when you become your own companion and being your own companion. It's just, I find so much comfort in being by myself. It doesn't matter what I look like. It doesn't matter what I have on. It doesn't matter what my hair looks like. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And it's just like, do you know how much comfort you find in that? And from that comfort, just opportunities and things, the type of stuff that you attract. Because you're not so concerned about other people. You're not concerned about what other people think. You're not concerned about doing something wrong. You're not, concerned about making mistakes. It's just so much that you just do not have to deal with when you're by yourself. Y'all better start learning to be by yourself.
Do it.
It's fun to hang out and it's cool to hang out. And then again, we are not saying if you are in a relationship and married, go out and do single stuff. That's not what we're saying.
Don't blame us for that divorce.
We are non-factors when it comes to that. Nothing worse than an adult male that posts personal B sessions on social media.
Oh my goodness. Oh, the drama queens and the drama kings. Yes. No, I don't have time for it. I understand people need a place to vent, but my biggest thing is when you're venting in the moment, you're being emotional. And usually an emotional decision is the wrong decision. And you can decide to go back and delete it, but people have already seen it. It never goes away.
It's a place for emotions and feelings. Emotions and feelings give you the opportunity to analyze it and understand how it affects you and why.
Yes.
We really gonna have to do another one. When the new year come in, we're gonna have to go back to these energies and balancing these energies. But emotions and feelings, they have a place everywhere, personal and professional. There is a place for them.
Yep.
I'm not saying go out here and get your feelings hurt and then miss out on a multi-million-dollar opportunity because you were in your feelings. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying. Ruby, the person for you don't care about how you look in private. Well, I agree with that. I'm not going to say I disagree. No, they don't care what you look like in private. But I'm just saying when it comes to me, and look, stop trying to change the focus. This focus of today's topic is becoming your own companion. We'll talk about that later. Now, so, what? I was trying not to make this be too long today, but I lie. But anyway, so, of course, going through social media, just scrolling, everybody having these vision board parties and events and stuff like that. And of course, me and the way I think, I'm like, that's good. I'm not knocking nobody. I'm so glad, that everybody's having one. I'm actually attending one tomorrow and I'm speaking. And so I'm definitely looking forward to that opportunity. But for the first quarter of 2018, and I don't know, I might extend it depending on, what I feel, but I know definitely for the first quarter of 2018, I'm focusing on um, balancing chakras and detachment.
Mm.
And pretty much with detachment, I'm all about moving on to the new things and focusing on the new. But if you don't let go of the old, there's no way for you to receive the new. There's no way for you to hold on to it. It's nowhere for you to put it.
Right.
So, of course, with me looking at, all of these, my wife said that because of how I look right now. Well,
Oh
see,
Lord.
you must not be looking too. It's definitely one of those Sundays where y'all just sitting at the house chilling, looking any kind of way. But
My goodness.
with the way I think, I'm like, well, make your vision board, but
Mm-hmm.
then of course I think, what about an unvision board?
Hmm.
A board full of things that you letting go of, things that you are detaching from. And it's like, why not make a board that has all of those things you want to let go of? So of course, here's, a little makeshift board that I made. Now, mind you, I don't have any kids, so I don't know why I got construction paper and glue at the house. This just lets you know how much of a creative I am because I just have to have this stuff at home. I was going to use it for something, but I got
Oh my
construction
God.
glue and scissors. But this is this that I made, and basically on here it just has stuff on here that you're gonna let go of, like for
Mm-hmm.
example, depression, failure, laziness, procrastination. And you know what? We're gonna make this a become your own companion activity. So
Hmm. I like that.
you don't have to get no construction paper, white line notebook paper will work just fine.
Yes, it will.
I don't want you to spend too much time on this because I want you to put most of your time and energy into your vision board.
Right.
You see, I got some black construction paper. The black in this case is representing negative energy and things that you want to let go of.
Mm-hmm.
So I always remind you this is always a reminder that this is negative stuff that you don't want to, hold on to. But take the time and write down and list those things on your unvision board that you're going to let go of, that you're releasing, that you're detaching from. And definitely make it smaller than your vision board. You don't want it to take up too much space or be bigger than your vision board. This is not your focus. It's just serving as a reminder of whenever you're looking at your vision board and you're saying, okay, this is what I'm moving to. You look at this right next to it and say, okay, this is where I'm moving from. That's why your windshield, your front mirror is bigger than your rear view mirror.
Mm-hmm. If I made that.
Uh, you know what? I'm not even reading his comments no more. No more. What up, Mike? My milk money. You need to go back and watch this, Michael. Michael John Phillips. Yes, I did say your whole name. I still love you, and we still cool. But you need to go back and watch this. That's all I'm gonna say. But your become your own companion activity. Make you an unvision board,
Yeah, that's a good one.
and put it right next to your vision board. And every morning or however often you look at it, just let it serve as a reminder of where you're moving from and look at your vision board as a reminder where you're moving to, what you're working
Mm-hmm.
toward.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't think that you really want to manifest all of these good things if you're still holding on to anger and
Yeah.
procrastination and laziness, inconsistency, stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm like, well, if we going towards the hour, I might as well fill up the hour. But Allison, what are your last thoughts for the day? So we shut it down for the 2017.
Well, my last thoughts are this. I want to make sure people who watch this understand that neither I nor Ruby are advocating for you to become self-absorbed or conceited
That part.
or insensitive to anybody's needs. That is not what we are discussing here. What we are saying is, as you are looking at things that need to have your time, your effort, your care, your gentleness, your grace, we are advocating and strongly suggesting that you remember that you need to be on that list too. And putting
Right.
yourself on that list, the same way we're saying we don't want you to become, that we're not saying that you will become self-absorbed. We also want you to understand that putting yourself on that list does not make you selfish either.
It does
There are
not.
a lot of people, I won't get into a lot of names. I mean, we've seen headline after headline over the years, but there is a very distinct age, especially to my sisters. I need you to understand there's an age between 40 and 65 where we are losing our sisters. Now, on paper, we're losing to cancer or a heart attack or whatever, but there are spiritual roots to a lot of the things that happen. And those
Hmm.
two particular issues are related to a lack of self-care and bitterness. We are so focused. I cringe now when I see people who want to post that, we lost the strongest member of our family. I bet you she was around 60. And I bet
Hmm.
you lost her because people were so focused on dumping their stuff on her, thinking she could take it. And she never learned how to push back and say, that's enough. I need to take care of me. And it's a sad thing. And I really
Hmm.
want us to start to understand that the stuff that affects us is still affecting us even if we ignore it. It doesn't go
Right.
away until it is addressed. And I don't mean by drinking it away, sleeping it away, sexing it away, angering it away. It doesn't go away until you address it. And with me now being in that window, I'll be 42 in 3 months. With me being in that window and me seeing my mother pass away at 63 and seeing other women who have passed away in that age, I know what's happening. Our bodies are giving out from the heartbreak we're not dealing with, from the stress that we keep taking on from other people, and from the lack of care that we are giving ourselves because we have bought into the myth that the only way
Mm-hmm.
we are going to be seen as a worthy woman is how much we're able to take and how much we're able to give to other people and how little we are
Hmm.
able to put effort into ourselves. The following words are no longer a compliment. She did everything for everybody and she always put people ahead of herself. Those are not compliments. Stop taking them as compliments. What they are showing you is that that person never learned how to put themselves first and kept pouring from an empty cup. Don't let that be you. Learn how to enjoy your company. Learn how to enjoy the gift that is you. You weren't brought into the world with anybody. Even if you're a twin or a triplet, you still came out one at a time. Enjoy who you are.
Yep.
Enjoy why you were placed here. Enjoy your gift. Enjoy the contribution that you were meant to have to this world because you're here for a purpose and we need it. So learn it and stop letting things like, heartbreak and pain and frustration and bitterness and loneliness and fear, stop letting that keep you from doing what we need because it's not going to happen if you don't
Hmm.
do it. That's all I got.
Point blank and period. So, of course, this is the last day of 2017,
Yes.
and we really appreciate y'all for spending this hour with us if you were with us for the full hour.
Yes.
But we started this in November, and of course, we're going to keep going into the new year.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you all have any topics that you want us to discuss, let us know. Other than that, we'll just keep coming up with our own topics of discussion.
That's right.
So we got plenty of them. We got a lot to talk about. But, you know, We will, of course, see you next week. Topic next week. Um, you know what? I think I'm gonna go with we'll talk more about the miseducation of self.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, we'll move there. You know, I have to look at
Okay.
my list like, I actually need to add some more to my list, but next week we'll talk about the miseducation of self.
Like it.
And that's how we'll start off the new year. So, of course, I'm Ruby D, the Goddess Entrepreneur. And you can find me here on Facebook, on Instagram at Ruby D Artistry, or you can visit my website, www.thegoddessgrind.com. Buy my book. I only did it like that because Allison, I know she'd be waiting.
I just get so tickled when you do that.
But yes, this is my first book, The Goddess Grind. We grind with one eye open.
Mm-hmm.
It's available online for purchase. And today I will be finishing the next book in this series, The Goddess Grind. We grind according to law, the second elevation. And thank you, girl. I was just like, oh, I'm so glad to almost be finished with it. I'm almost, finished. I'll be done today with the first draft of it. But
Okay, good.
I know I'm gonna go back and probably add some stuff and do some things. But it's done.
Awesome.
And yeah, I have all kind of stuff going on, as y'all will see, for the new year, because I'm just gonna put it out there like that. If y'all don't want to see me posting quite often, then you might as well want to unfollow me or whatever. But I gotta be consistent with me putting myself first and promoting my businesses and my talents and whatnot. And that's what I'm gonna do. Allison, your turn.
This is Allison with Be Still and Move. My parent company is the HGL Group, which is the nonprofit that I started this year. We are at a point where we are being given other opportunities to spread the message of learning how to heal, grow, and live beyond your situation.
Yay!
And
I can't clap because I'm holding my phone with my other hand, but I can
we
clap.
are, well,
Hey.
thank you. Thank you. Yes, we are moving forward. We've got some wonderful opportunities we've been given that are going to start this year. We have events. I am opening myself up and making myself available for speaking engagements now. So I'm looking forward to that all over the country. You guys just, it'll be set up on the website shortly after the beginning of the year. I'm just in a good place. I'm in a good place, and I'm grateful for the fact that I keep getting confirmations like this opportunity with Ruby and the other opportunities I've been given, just those little things that let me know I'm on the right track and that I have the right mindset for where I'm going. And so that's one of the biggest things I want to spread for everybody this year. That's going to be one of the goals that we want people to reach. Get your mind ready for what's coming, because where you are is not
Yes.
the end. So that's all I've got.
All right. Well, that's our hour for today. Well, actually, it's probably been like an hour and 3 minutes, but so what? So what? So we look forward to seeing y'all next Sunday on Soul
Yeah.
Sunday via Allison, where we talk about miseducation of self.
Mm-hmm.
Have a happy new year. Enjoy your new year. Don't get drunk. Call you an Uber, Lyft, somebody. I don't know. Do
Please.
something.
Yes. Yes.
That's a part of spending time with yourself. If you don't want to go nowhere, spend some time at home and get drunk. Then you ain't
How
got to
about
worry
that?
about
Exactly.
going nowhere. You ain't got to worry about nobody embarrassing you and embarrassing nobody else. And then you just fall asleep in the bed. It's whatever. But we will see y'all next Sunday. Peace.
Peace.